Welcome to another episode of Conversations. My name is Naomi Blemur. I am the managing partner for BL Consulting and your host for Conversations. It is a brand new year and we have an amazing show coming up on the topic, all things education with Mr. Principal Wallace Aristide. For all those that are tuning for the very first time, we ask that you share this live, that you tag a friend and let them know that Naomi Blemur is on for another conversation. If this is your first time tuning in, we want you to know that Conversations is all about the Haitian community, whether we're discussing what is going on here in South Florida, New York, Philadelphia, Boston, wherever we are. Conversations is there to ensure that we are communicating our stories. We talk about leveraging the Haitian vote. We talk about Haitians in leadership. We also talk about issues that are impacting our Haitian community. We are here to keep you engaged and to inform. And without further ado, we're going to bring our guests on for today. That is none other than Principal Wallace Aristide. Principal Aristide, how are you today?
Blemur, I want to wish you, your family, all your guests, everybody that's on a happy 2021.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. So before we even get into it, please share with us, how did you spend your holidays during COVID?
Well, it's very interesting you ask that question. I had a very unique holiday. We were at the school. We had 5 days during the holidays where we had some students that came in. We were one of a couple schools that encouraged, motivated, find a way to communicate to our students, hey, let's come on in. We still have work to do, because there has been a concern about the total engagement of all of our students. So that was a way we spent. And then in the evening, I had time with family and friends and all the loved ones. We had a chance to see them. We had to remain, of course, social distance. And I was fortunate on yesterday evening, which was good. I spent some time with my son. He's here in town. He works at Texas A&M University. So we were there. We were able to talk to him and share time with him. And it was good. They play a nice bowl game tonight against North Carolina. So that was really some of the highlights of my holiday.
Well, Principal Aristide, as Haitian Americans, we have a double celebration on New Year's. Yesterday was the 217th anniversary of our Haitian independence, where our ancestors successfully revolted against the French and thereby established us as the first Black Republic. Please share your thoughts on that. And how did you celebrate yesterday?
Well, let me say this. It's interesting you say that, because I've been doing this for years. My sister Marie Lamont, we were there with her yesterday. I mean, she cooked a scrumptious meal. I mean, the soup jumu. You got to be an expert when you're talking about soup jumu. You got to know about that pumpkin, and you got to have the right stuff when you put those ingredients together. Those that are learning about our culture and our community, they always tell me, Mr. Aristide, I would love to try that soup jumu. That is one of the very favorites. And yesterday we came together and we just had a good time. And when you talk about a country that has done so much, not just what they've done in Haiti, but just worldwide. When you talk about people that inspired Simon Bolivar, when you talk, I mean, all up and down Central and South America. And then when you talk about people that made a difference right here in the States, when you look at the battles where we're recognized, what we've done in Savannah, where we fought and helping the independence right here in the country that we're in today.
Excellent, excellent. I'm so happy that you talked about or mentioned soup jumu. Without any judgment, how many bowls did you have yesterday?
I had about 3 bowls. They were they all worked out very well. I was excited about all 3 of them.
Absolutely, and that's funny enough. I had 3 bowls myself.
You did?
Yes, I did. I had vegan, and I even had a seafood edition, which I thought was amazing. So I you enjoyed it yesterday as well.
Wow. I mean, you had a variety. That's good stuff.
Yes, yes. And you know what? I think that's the amazing thing with our culture and Soup Jumu and all the other traditions that we have. You actually have an opportunity to really make it work for you and to really see what you like and what fits well for you. So I think that's something that I really enjoyed yesterday. Having a seafood Soup Jumu was amazing for me.
Well, you know, one of the big things yesterday, too, when we got with my nephew and other family members, we sort of give them a history about the Soup Jumu. We talked about how important, how significant, how this is something like here, you know, how you have Thanksgiving and you celebrate that, but now you celebrate a day that is so significant and so important to our culture, so important to our community, the day that we gain independence. And I can't say it enough that we inspired so many people of African descent and African heritage to say, hey, that is a place we can look at because those people believe in their independence and freedom.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what? We're going to go right into our conversation for today. I see that you have individuals who are logged in. We have Eugenise Mompremier who says best principal ever, Wallace Aristide. And so right now, right before we go into our conversation, we're going to ask that every person who's tuning to share the live. Principal Aristide, if you have not already done so, we're going to give you the opportunity to share the live. I've already shared it on my platform. I'm going to reshare it again, and we're going to get to know Principal Aristide a little bit better and go right into our topic for today, all things education. At this moment, please take an opportunity to share the live with your friends, with your family, with individuals that you believe would be interested in this conversation that we are about to have today. Okay, so if you have not already done so, please share the live. And I'm doing it again right now to ensure that everyone takes part in this conversation that is extremely important, especially during COVID. We want to ensure that the remainder of the school year for our students, it is the best that it can possibly be. And the only way that we're going to be able to do that is if we get the right information in a timely manner from those who are in the position to communicate what exactly is going on in our school systems and what we can do to ensure that our kids, our children, have a great 2021 school year. Okay, so Principal Aristide, for so many of us that are tuned in, and for those that may be hearing about you for the very first time, please share with them who is Wallace Aristide and what's your story.
Well, let me start. My story is one that starts with somebody that had an impact on my life, somebody that continues to show me the direction with guidance, support I've needed from the day I've been here. Her name is Marie Ima Bieneme. They know her as Matant Ima. Matant Ima, my mother, was an advocate for education. She believed that if you were going to have a chance to be successful, if you were going to do well in the society, you need to get the best education possible. One of the things that are very unique about the culture is not just learning how to read, write, mathematics, but there's also a thing of how to respect people. There's a thing of how you carry yourself. So it becomes not just what you're learning inside of a classroom, but how you govern, how you have these manners. So that became the education process from a very early age. When I talk about a mother that came here and she had so many challenges coming here because, you know, you come in and you're new to the country, you're struggling with the language, the English, you're learning English, which is a second language for you. So those employment opportunities become very challenging. So what she did, she became an entrepreneur. And by her becoming an entrepreneur, she's able to help her family. She's able to see all of her children go, not just graduate from high school, not just go to college, but go to universities and see them excel and do well in their lives, because that was the thing that she stressed. That's what she talked to you about every day. And one thing I'll never forget about her, she told you the same thing every day, and she never gave up. It was always the same thing over and over. So Wallace Aristide starts with somebody that many may know in the little Haiti community. Her name is Ma Tante Ima. There was many that came here in the late 60s, 70s, and they would stay with Ma Tante Ima. Somebody else that had an impact was my father, Ernst Aristide. Some of them know him as Timizer. He came in the late 50s. He's been here 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. He would bring family over. He would bring friends, loved ones. Everybody, they would come and live in his house. A very unique thing. You like, do these people really like me at my house? I go home, they got me outside. I'm in the living room. I'm sleeping on the floor in the living room, and the guests taking my bed. And I like, wow, why are they doing this to me? But that became something that taught you about how to serve others. And when you come from parents that served others, somebody that was a mother to me, when you talk about Vida Lavia, you're talking about Lavia Brown, who was there, who also was that person that cared for a community, a family, her children. So these are the folks that shape my mentality and help me to understand why education is so important. So I got to start with them when we begin this conversation.
Okay, guys, we're having some technical difficulties right now. While we work on those technical difficulties, we're going to ask you one more time. If you are tuned in, please share the live while we get Principal Aristide back up with us, working on the sound. Again, please share the live. And if you can hear me now, please let me know that you can hear me. So if someone is on, okay, great. I know that he can hear me. Facebook, can you hear me? If Facebook can hear me, please say, yes, you can hear me. Okay, great, great. They're saying we are on and they can hear us. Wonderful. Okay, okay, Principal Aristide, we're good now, right?
When I talked about Matatima and all that, hopefully they heard that.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. We heard everything that you have shared thus far. Well, we want to go right into it now that we know a little bit about your story and you shared some wonderful recollections of Madatima and your dad and exactly what they brought to the table to help you become the man that you are today. For those that are watching, we're going to go right into understanding the role of a principal. Please share with us, as you understand it, what is the role of a principal, and what are some of the things that you have been able to achieve in your role currently?
Well, the principal is the instructional leader at the school. So the principal, once that principal is appointed by the superintendent of school, that principal takes on the helm. That principal is a representative of the school board, the school district at the school site. So everything that begins, everything that comes to the forefront, everything that becomes important and vital to the school, the principal has an impact to it. So as a principal, one of the big things with me is I see myself someone that walks in the school. I never lead alone. I look for a team of people to help me. I look for people on my leadership team, administrators. I look for people that we call academic coaches, department chairs, all those people that come together and we ignite the passion for our children. One of the things for us is we see that children are always first, and we collaborate all the time because we think if we collaborate, we make it a better learning environment for all of our students. So I collaborate with our folks as a team. That's what I see when you talk about somebody that's a principal. Now, when you talk about some of the accomplishments we've done, and I've got to talk about these accomplishments from myself working with a team, with a group of people. I've been the principal at Miami Northwestern for 10 years. In education, I started at a school called Shenandoah Middle. We had a lot of students new to the country, a lot of students from Nicaragua. I was at Miami Central Senior High School all through the 90s, where I was a coach, I was a teacher, I was a mentor, I was what you would call the dean of students. I was at Miami Norland Senior High School, where I also was athletic director, coach. I was the first coach of African ancestry, black, to be the head football coach at North Miami Senior High School. We got to North Miami and we began an impact at North Miami. One of the things I found unique when we were at North Miami, we got there, the mayor was Howard Prima at the time, gave us a key to the city. We were part of the mayor's task force. So there's somebody working as a head football coach. So it showed that the job that we do, our role is important in that leadership role. And also in my career in education, I was at Michael Crop Senior High School. I went there and I worked there for years. That's where I got my first assistant principal job. I also worked at Miami Edison under the leadership of the principal to assistant principal at the school. And then hence I go to Miami Northwestern, assistant principal 4 years and the principal the last 10. When we got there, myself, predecessor and the rest of the team, we said, hey, we can make this school an A school. And I'll tell you, a lot of folks were like, Mr. Aristide, you're a nice guy, you're working real hard. We don't see Miami Northwestern ever becoming an A school. We just didn't see it in those children. We didn't see those children of African-American, Haitian-American, Hispanic, some of those students. We've got a lot of low-income, economically disadvantaged students. They said, Mr. Aristide, it won't happen. We went, we worked, we put in the effort, we began the transformation, we worked with the transformation office under the leadership of the superintendent of schools. We got in there and we turned Miami Northwestern. We made history. We got in there together and we made it an A school. Those were not their expectations, but I learned something from my Tatsima a long time ago, and I talked about it earlier. She told, and I said it to everybody, she told you the same thing over and over again. And we kept trying to get the students to buy in. We kept trying to get the students to understand we can get this done. We got to collaborate. We got to do this. And we built those relationships. The students believed in us. They began to believe in themselves and they saw themselves achieve the A. And I remember when we became A school and the students were celebrating, Mr. Aristide, thank you, thank you. I reminded them they did all the work. All I was a cheerleader and me cheering them on and just trying to be encouraging and just trying to be there and trying to support them. And the school got an A. And another accomplishment we're so proud of, we first got there, you're looking at graduation rates in the 50s right now, this year. And in light of a pandemic, this class, they leave with a 91% graduation rate, which just shows you if you come in, you get the children to buy in as a principal, you get everybody to buy in and you have a vision, you can see the success occurring.
Well, Principal Aristide, with everything that you have shared thus far, you have individuals right now on the live who are on the so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
recording. They are saying, yes, he did. And they are applauding all of the great work that you have done so far. And so kudos to you. I am truly honored to have made this connection with you because we understand the power of education and the responsibility that is upon those that are leading in education to ensure that our children are ultimately charting the right path and realizing their dreams within a system that sometimes does not provide them with the right tools in order for them to succeed. And so it leads me to the next question that I have for you, and that is, what is the role of education within our community? What is the role that you see that education needs to fulfill?
Let me say this, and I've got to put education in something that hopefully everybody could understand. Uh, where we from, we play soccer. They call it football. Football. So they come together as a team. They come together as a group. So this sport, this thing called education, it needs everybody to participate. When I talk to my parents, I always tell my parents this. I said, I'm on team parent, not on team child. So I'm on team parent to help the parent navigate, provide some assistance and guidance for his or her child, the parent, the guardian, the grandparent, whomever is supporting this particular student. So for me, we've got to get everybody involved in this. Everyone has got to participate. One of the things that's got to happen, especially with some of the challenges we're facing now with COVID, coronavirus, we've got some young people that we've got to make sure they're engaged, that we've got to make sure that our communication with the parents, and I know so many schools are doing this because we're big in doing this. We're contacting parents. We have a couple things we do. We have something what we call the knock and drop. We'll knock on the door. We'll drop the documentation, letting you know, hey, this is what's going on. Is your child online? Is your child physical? We do that. Then we have what we call a knock and we backpedal. We got to go by CDC guidelines. So we go 6 feet and we talk to you from the social distance, wearing the PPE equipment, what have you, to let you know, hey, your child needs assistance. Your child needs some support. We're here to do that. Let's come together. Let's work together as a team. So for parents out there, people that are listening, parents, we need everybody's engagement. One thing I tell my parents when I speak to them, when a child goes there, and I think a lot of parents can relate to that. I go to kindergarten. I go to daycare. When you first go in there, they hold your hands and they take you in. Something happened by the time you get to middle school and high school. Sometimes we back off. I tell parents this is not the time to back off. We've got to work together to the very end. It's not over yet. You might be in the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. You've not completed. You still have more work to do. The time has not ended. We still need your engagement. We need your involvement. Yeah, I know you might not want to walk with an 18-year-old holding his or her hand. I get it. But that 18-year-old need to know. Mom, dad, guardian, grandparents, those family members that are taking care of that student, they need to know that you're always going to be there. You will continue to be there. That is big. So we've got to do that together. So I believe in that collaboration of educators, families, parents, community. We come together. They say it takes a community. They say it takes a village. This requires the entire village working together, collaborating to ensure that the students are successful.
Excellent. We have someone says all the way through from cradle to career, parents need to be involved. And so, Principal Aristide, my next question for you is, what are the two major challenges that you believe parents are facing right now with their children? What do you believe they need to know in order to overcome those challenges?
I think the major challenges that the parents and what the families need to know, when we take the child in school, let's communicate, let's know who the people that are the administrators of the school, who is the principal of the school, who are these people? Okay, I've taken my child to a school. I just can't drop the child there, and I don't know who these people are going to be with my child. The other big challenge, I think, know the teachers. The reason I say know the teachers, when you have a communication, you're speaking with the teacher know you care about your child. People treat you different when they know you care. When they know you care, there's going to be a certain type of, I would say, the way you receive, receptiveness, the way the people are going to treat you because they know that, see, they talk about engagement, having, some people call it skin in the game. Some people call it, hey, I'm totally in tune of what's going on in my child environment. So I think those are the biggest challenges. I remember not too long ago, and I was at a meeting, and there were people trying to get folks in a nearby school to be PTA president, to join the PTA, PTSA. Parents, you got to be a part of it. That's your baby. That's your child. That's your jewel. That's your pride and joy. You need to be a part of it. You've got to, listen, I enjoy the parents the most that make me work the most. The ones that make me work the most, every time I see them, Mr. Aristide, I'm here again. Just like that parent who's saying I'm a great principal, Miss Mompremier, I don't know how many emails I've gotten from her about all her children. She stay on me with the emails. Some people even have my own personal number. They call me. I enjoy those folks because I know that those folks are totally in tune. I've got a doctor. This doctor, he stays in touch with me all the time. So I think the big challenge is that engagement component, that component where parents are engaged with the school and schools are engaged with the parents. I think if you ask anybody in education, they'll say that's one of their biggest challenges.
Excellent. You mentioned a couple of things. You mentioned about being engaged. You mentioned about taking part in programs within the school as parents. My question for you is, what are some of the programs that you believe that parents can get involved immediately for this new year, 2021, specifically in Miami-Dade County?
Okay, there's a couple things. Miami-Dade does a tremendous job, and you got to give them kudos. They have school choice. I think the big thing a parent needs to do, see what your child is interested in. I know, listen, we grow up, they say, hey, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer. I remember when I was having a conversation and I was with an attorney, I want to say Attorney Novak. This is years ago when I first got to college and I wanted to be an attorney. And I just got in this stuff. I don't know if it's because of my auntie Ma. She always used to call me like St. John Bosco, St. John Bosco or Bosco, or that patron saint, the Catholics have as far as one that love children and things of that nature. So I got into this education field and I found something that I was passionate about, something that I like. So if you engage the child early, find out what he or she likes. Let's try to nurture that. Let's see what they're going to fall in love with. I really encourage parents to listen. There are choices out there. See what schools, what place is aligned for you and your child. One of the big things a lot of the schools do, because it's competitive. We talked about school choice. There's a lot of opportunities, educational opportunities for parents and students out there. So I think you as the parent, there might be, maybe your student is a performer. Your child want to go into performing arts. Let's look at that. There's opportunities in performing arts. There's opportunities there down the line. Your child may like some type of stuff with technology. There's opportunities in technology, coding, you name it. Your child may like something in vocational. Let's look at those things that your child is interested in. And your child may want to be, like we've got a tremendous nursing program. Your child may want to go in something like that, may want to go in the medical field. Your child may want to go into the legal field. So let's find out, let's make that match of what you and your child is interested in and make that connection with that school so you could be on the same page. And I think that's an extra advantage and motivation to the child, because now you've given me something. We call it the carrot. You've given me something that I truly like.
Principal Aristide, we're going to shift gears a little bit because you have truly, I think, lit a fire underneath us as parents and those that have our children within the school system and want to ensure that they succeed. We're going to shift gears a little bit, and I'm going to ask you, what is purpose for you? You're a passionate man, you're articulate, you speak very well, and you can tell that you are in your vein. Tell us, what is purpose for you? How do you define it? And do you believe that you are within your purpose?
Well, I think I'm in my purpose, and my purpose is this. I graduated from a HBCU, Bethune-Cookman University, where they talked about enter to learn and depart to serve. And I see myself as a servant. Dr. King talks about the most urgent and pressing question of our time is what you do for others. I enjoy doing for others because I talked about Martin Tima. I talked about Ants Aristide Timizer. I talked about LaVia Brown. I talked about these people that are all in my life. When you talk about serving, I can't, when you talk about Linda Courtier, I mean, my wife, a servant, she goes and takes stuff to Haiti and go there and feed and serve people. And we're at Good News and Good News. You when you go to work for Good News, you go in and you serve people at Good News. There's always a food pantry, and this was being done way before COVID. So those become the things to me that are vital. I think one of the things we like is, we provide the leadership at the school. As a principal, you want to provide the leadership. Our school is what you call a transformational school, and we want to transform young people's lives. That's where I feel where I'm the most effective. And then when you talk about credibility, we've demonstrated that we can excel. We've demonstrated that we can do well. We've demonstrated that we can achieve and we can accomplish the things that we've accomplished. So I think that's where I'm at. And just quickly, I remember when I first took on this journey in education, and I was working at a place called the DCI, Date Intensive Control Treatment Program. There was a Hispanic young man. His mom thought he was gone. She thought she would lose him. She thought he would never come back. And I was what you call a group treatment leader. And I worked with him. I counseled him. And for whatever reason, he really drew to me. And to see him change his life and for the mom to be so grateful, I said, this has got to be my purpose. And my purpose continues to be this. I am that guy where a parent, and they're there. They listen to you on this on your broadcast. Hey, Mr. Aristide, we're about ready to lose our home, and I got to make phone calls and call people from the county, the city, the school board, the school district. We do have a department down there at the school district where we support our homeless families, those that need food. Karen Fried, along with Superintendent Alberto Cavallo, they help us to go ahead and get those type of things. And also, you could see myself, staff, and others dropping furniture off, trying to help people out. And one of the things that we know that when it comes to service to us, when you lose a child and you've got to speak at the child funeral, and we've done many of those, and we go and we talk and we speak and we continue till this day to still encourage that parent that has lost a loved one. Now, when you talk about service, I just think that's the ultimate service, ultimate sacrifice, and we just enjoy doing it.
Thank you, Mr. Aristide. I just shared with our viewers that they can post some questions if they have any, because we know time is escaping us and we have another meeting. The last question I have for you before we go to the audience is, do you have any other aspirations outside of your role as a principal? Are there any other areas of or any other areas within our system that you would prefer in the future?
Well, just to be honest and to be frank with you, I'm applying for a county commissioner I'm a District 2, and there's a reason I'm applying so everybody could know. And I talked about in the beginning, a Miami-Dade that works for everybody. When you have somebody like Eugenise Mompremier, who was an immigrant to this country, Miami-Dade's got to work for her, just like Miami-Dade has got to work for people that have been here for decades, people that have been here for generations. Miami-Dade has got to be a place where you come here, you know that opportunity is opportunity and you receive access. You'll be able to accomplish and meet those dreams in your life. So that is one of the major reasons why I'm running. I mean, in education, when you talk about you hiring teachers and affordability becomes a challenge. Mr. Aristide, I'm making $47,000 a year, but the rent's $3,000. I may have to leave, and you're a dynamic teacher. You don't want to lose that teacher. You don't want to lose that nurse. You don't want to lose that fireman. You don't want to lose those people that we call critical people in our community. When you talk about those people are the seniors and those Timami, or we call them Tidadi. You know, they've been paying their house for 40 years and house is paid off, and now the taxes are a challenge. So we've got to let them know what programs out there to help them. So we're looking at an approach to help everybody. We're looking at an approach that has a diverse group of people coming together, because in this community, we've worked with all kinds of people. We've worked with the Haitian American, African American, Hispanic American. We've worked with all the communities. One of the big things for us is hashtag Uniting Miami, hashtag Transforming Miami. So just a little bit, and we're looking for an opportunity in 2022, District 2, and that's part of us continuing to provide the service to the entire community.
Wonderful, Principal Aristide. Thank you for sharing that. At this time, we're tuning in to all of our viewers. If you have any questions for Principal Aristide, who have shared so much with us today about his tenure as a principal and some of the challenges that we are facing as parents and what's going on in the school system, how we can assist the administrators and the teachers to effectuate change and ensure that our kids come out successful. And he shared that he is currently running for county commissioner seat 2. So if there are any questions that you have for him at this time, please drop the question and I will pose it to him, and we will give him an opportunity to answer those questions. In the meantime, we have individuals on YouTube who are chiming in. Some are saying, I love it. We have individuals on Facebook as well who are congratulating you and sharing. Eugenise says you are planning to leave our babies.
Our babies, I'm still going to be here, still be there to support them. I will continue to do some of the things that we've been doing. So there's no plan on my part to leave our babies. I'm just looking to continue to enhance their lives to the best of my ability.
Anthony Bonami says, love it. Tish Fields says, yes. Again, guys, if you have any question, this is the time for you to ask. Principal Wallace Aristide, thank you so very much for tuning in to Conversations. It is a platform for us to engage our community, for us to inform our community and ensure that they know what's going on, right? I would say one of the issues that we need to tackle as a community in 2021 in this amazing new year that is unfolding is that we all need to be in the know. You know, we need to know what's going on, and we need to be prepared to take the necessary steps and take the necessary decisions that's going to put not only us, but our children in a better position. At this time, we do not have any questions yet. Oh, we do have one. Says, you may have mentioned it before, but do you, the school collaborate with community organizations to help execute the goals for the initiative? Also out-of-state organizations.
Well, we've got, from my vantage point, we've been very fortunate to create what we call public-private partnerships. I'll give a quick example. We were concerned at our school about about the PV clinic, which is a great facility. The school district put it together, and we just thought we can get better service for our students and our families. And we had a partnership with FIU, Florida International University, Dr. Strickland, she was able to help us. We were able to get a grant, $1.7 million. We work with Annie Neesmith, Jesse Trice, and we really facilitated some tremendous staff, some great people that are working to help our students, because we felt if you're going to educate them, you want them to be healthy. So that's a partner. We also have one from New York, Hyman Brown Charitable Trust, that works with us. So Dade County does a tremendous job allowing partners. The superintendent is big on public-private partnerships. So those things are allowed. We make the connection. I mean, it's been challenging because we've been dealing with COVID-19, making sure we're following the CDC guidelines. Well, we do have partners from the state, partners from out of state, and local folks here that I believe have been tremendous for us.
We have another question. What would you say is vital for addressing the racial achievement disparity that exists in the classroom as a parent and a teacher?
I think that this is the thing. We've got to continue to push, encourage, motivate. We've got to bring it out of our young people. This is my experience. I think one of the biggest things our young people have challenged with sometimes is confidence. You can be told a lot of times that you can't do something. You begin to believe it's true. When I talked about us turning that school around, a lot of people like those little poor black children, those little poor Spanish children, they're not going to do it. But we worked and we pushed them and we got them to do it. I think the best way to deal with the achievement gap is it's going to take all of us. It's going to take our total engagement. It's going to take all of us coming together, all of us really working the system as hard as we can. We've got to make those expectations. We've got to know, hey, this is the expectations we have for our young people, and who's ever making the decision at the suicide, what have you. We've got to encourage those people, let them know, hey, we're fully engaged. We need their support. We need their assistance. We're tuned in. We know these are the challenges. This is what we're going to do together, because it's going to take collaborative effort to make that happen. And our young people, I'm telling you, I was at a school and I saw some of the best and brightest students I've ever seen of African descent. I mean, just geniuses. They have the ability. They can get it done. We've got to work with them. We've got to push them. We've got to encourage them. One thing, and I just say this quick, we have students that can pass advanced classes, advanced tests, but sometimes our young people got to get used to the rigor. They got to get used to the hard work. One thing I challenge young people with, if I send a young man to a football field, they practicing all day, no big deal. I send a student to be a musician, music all day. But now I got to focus on academic reading, writing, computation, and mathematics. I've got to put that same thing into work. I got to work at it. I've got to practice it just like I would do those other things that I'm excited about, those other things that I don't even pay attention to where the time has gone. And I've been a classroom teacher. And I've been teaching classes that I remember we had special classes in the summer years ago, and they would be 5 hours. Before they knew it, the students were like, wow, where did the time go? That's because they were focusing on the work. They were doing their assignment. They really dug in academically. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to grind in this work academically. And that will, I could see that changing. And again, you're talking about a school with low graduation rate. Well, we told the students, if you want to be a part of any ceremony, what is your goal? It's not just, hey, I'm going to lead a high school. What you going to do when you get out of high school? So the child got to know there are some goals. It's like I've got a bank account, right? I'm saving money in the bank, but I'm expecting to draw some interest. So it's the same thing with my education. What is going to be in my best interest when I finish my educational career as a high school senior? What are going to be the next things for me? So we focus and we push people to be goal-oriented, because if I have a plan, I'll be successful. If I have no plan, I will be unsuccessful.
Excellent, excellent. That question was from Kenya on YouTube. Right now, we have a question from Zanad and Jean on Facebook. It says, "Hi, Mr. Wallace. I'm happy to learn that you are a true transformational leader and want to give a big kudos to you. Great work, brother."
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, Eugenise Mompremier says, "I pray and hope that Mr. Hookah be the next principal, yes, or someone those kids can relate to."
Well, a decision will be rendered. I'm not sure how they're going to work that out, but a decision will be made. And I think whoever's going to be there, I think they're going to do a good job. And I think it's going to be a good situation. Like I said, I will be around to provide support. I'll be around to provide assistance. I am committed to the entire community. I mean, there's a community of schools that, and I mentioned the names to you that I've worked at, and I'm committed to them. I worked, one of my first high school was Central, and I worked there for years. North Miami was one, NMB, the Northwestern. So I've worked in education has and will always be my life. I'm one of those lifelong learners. So we think we're going to be okay, and we think the students are going to be okay.
Excellent, excellent. At this time, we do not have any other questions. We are just going to leave it to you, Principal Aristide, to give us your final word. If you can just move back a little bit from the camera and just share your final words with everyone, that would be great.
Well, again, I want to thank you. I mean, Naomi, just to be able to sit here today and talk to you and talk to your audience and talk to all those people that have been supporters. I can't thank you, thank them, those family members, all those that have been near and dear to our heart. I want to thank each and every one of those people. As I close, I want to encourage young people with one thing. Everybody going to tell you what you can't do. Everybody's going to try to discourage you. You can't listen to that. Do not let anybody talk something into your life that is not reality. They are not the creator. They did not create you. They did not bring you here. You can't listen to that. I always discourage students to listen to anybody that tell you what you can't do. You've got to go ahead and look inside yourself and find those things that you're passionate about, those things that inspire you, those things that demonstrate that you can be great. Greatness is within you. All you've got to go, young people, go out there and achieve that greatness. That greatness is for you. Go out there and get it. That's what I would close with, Naomi, and I appreciate this conversation.
We appreciate you, Principal Aristide. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We look forward to connecting with you as you chart this new path as a candidate for Commissioner District 2. Thank you so very much to our followers who tuned in on YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate you. Please like our page, subscribe to the page so that as we bring great leaders such as like Mr. Aristide, you will always be in the know of what's going on and you can learn more about him. Mr. Aristide, if somebody wants to go and learn more about your campaign and the platform that you're running on, where can they go?
Okay, I'm going to give you a phone number quickly. Just give me one moment. Let me make sure I get the number. We do have a number. We do have staff working. You can go to, you can send us an email, wall66422@gmail.com. That's wall66422@gmail.com. And staff will reach right back out to you and they'll contact you. Let me give you a number. I do have staff working right now. We have some people that are volunteering to help us. Let me see if I have a number here for you. It's 786-468-1579. That's 786-468-1579. You go to wall66422@gmail.com. We do have staff. We got volunteers. They'll be getting in touch. They just kicking the ground off. We just started this. Really, this upcoming week will be our first week starting. So we're looking forward to this, and We appreciate all the help, all the support, everybody that want to volunteer, everybody that want to be a part of it. You have the email, you got the phone number. Leave us a message, send us a text. We'll be in touch with you. We got staff out here working that are volunteering their time, and I'm truly grateful to them and everybody that's supporting our campaign, all the leadership and all those folks that are there to help us. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. We look forward to learning more about your candidacy. Until next time, everyone, have a balanced day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.